I'm going to read from Hosea chapter 10, verse 12. Sow for yourselves righteousness, reap in mercy, break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek YAHUAH, till he comes and rains righteousness on you. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 13, verse 3. And he spoke many things to them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seed fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them. Some fell on stony places where they did not have much earth, and they immediately sprang up because they had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. But others fell on good ground and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. I'll read Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 1 through 4. If you will return, O Israel, says YAHUAH, return to me. And if you will put away your abominations out of my sight, then you shall not be moved. And you shall swear, YAHUAH lives, in truth, in judgment, and in righteousness. The nations shall bless themselves in him, and in him they shall glory. For thus says YAHUAH to the men of Judah and Jerusalem, break up the fallow ground, and do not sow among thorns. Circumcise yourselves to YAHUAH, and take away the foreskins of your hearts, you men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Lest my fury come forth like fire and burn so that no one can quench it, because of the evil of your doings. I'm going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 10. Start at verse 12. And now, Israel, what does YAHUAH your Elohim require of you but to fear YAHUAH your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, to serve YAHUAH and your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep the commandments of YAHUAH and his statutes, in which I command you today for your good. Indeed, heaven and the highest heavens belong to YAHUAH your Elohim, also the earth with all that it is in it. YAHUAH delighted only in your fathers to love them, and he chose their descendants after them. You above all peoples, as it is this day. Therefore circumcise the foreskins of your heart, and be stiff-necked no longer. For YAHUAH your Elohim is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great Elohim, mighty and awesome, who so shows no partiality nor takes a bribe. He administers justice for the fatherless and the widow, and loves the stranger, giving him food and clothing. Therefore love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. And you shall fear YAHUAH your Elohim. You shall serve him, and to him you shall hold fast and take oaths in his name. He is your praise, and he is your Elohim, who has done for you these great and awesome things which your eyes have seen. Hallelujah. I'm going to go back a little bit in Deuteronomy and just read verses 1 through 11. At that time, YAHUAH said to me, Hew for yourselves 2 tablets of stone like the first, and come up to me on the mountain, and make yourself an ark of wood, and I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark. So I made an ark of acacia wood, hewed 2 tablets of stone like the first, and went up the mountain, having the 2 tablets in my hand. And he wrote on the tablets, according to the first writings, the 10 commandments, which YAHUAH had spoken to you in the mountain from the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly, and YAHUAH gave them to me. Then I turned and came down from the mountain, and put the tablets in the ark which I had made, and there they are, just as YAHUAH commanded me. Now the children of Israel journeyed from the wells of Benajakin to Mosherah, where Aaron died and where he was buried, and Eleazar his son ministered as priest in his stead. From there they journeyed to Gudgodah, and from Gudgodah to Jothaban, a land of rivers of water. At that time YAHUAH separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of YAHUAH, to stand before YAHUAH, to minister to him, and to bless in his name to this day. Therefore Levi was no portion nor inheritance with his brethren. YAHUAH is his inheritance, just as YAHUAH your Elohim promised him. As at this first time I stayed in the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, YAHUAH also heard me at that time, and YAHUAH chose not to destroy you. Then YAHUAH said to me, Arise, begin your journey before the people, that they may go in and possess the land which I swore to your fathers to give them.